Through the tears and the hate, how Taehyung and Jungkook stayed side by side, without any announcement, without any warning. This moment quietly shook the global scene. Welcome to V Effect. Lately, there's been a lot of talk about Taekook's absence from the AO3 most popular ship lists, that page where people upload their fan stories. By 2025, none of the BTS ships, including Taekook, were on the list. This has drawn attention because Taekook used to always be among the top ships. But its absence from these lists doesn't mean that Taehyung and Jungkook's relationship has lost its value. There are simple reasons to explain this change on AO3. Many of those who write these stories have decided to stop due to the harassment they receive. Some people dedicate themselves to mass reporting posts or leaving harsh comments, which exhausts the creators. That's why several writers left the platform. It's not that people no longer care about Taekook. It's that the environment for creating stories has become unpleasant and isn't as welcoming as it once was. Those who truly follow Taekook know that their bond isn't measured by how many stories are written. It's about the memories they share, like those trips they're rumored to have taken or the way they interact during live streams, where their genuine affection is evident. Since BTS began, Taekook has always been a very special duo. In their live broadcasts, the way they look at each other or support each other on stage doesn't seem fake, but rather something that comes naturally. Over the years, we've seen many examples of this unique energy between them. In interviews or even in relaxed moments, Taehyung and Jungkook display a comfort with each other that is very obvious. Think of those times when Jungkook fixes something for Taehyung without hesitation, or when Taehyung laughs heartily at one of his simple jokes. They're small things, but they show how close they are and why so many people feel there's something more between them. Even though AO3 no longer has them on their main chart, interest in Taekook remains strong elsewhere. Social media is still full of posts about them, analyses of their gestures, and memes that show people are still paying attention. It's just that over time, people find other ways to show their admiration, perhaps outside of the most well-known platforms. But that doesn't make their relationship any less important to their fans. Taekook doesn't need to be at the top of a chart to be real. Their story is built day by day with the moments they share and the connection they demonstrate. Even though there's less writing about them on AO3, that doesn't change what we've seen over the years. True fans understand that what matters isn't chart popularity, but the real bond these two artists have, and that's something that can't be measured with numbers or statistics. Six years ago, a scene unfolded between Taehyung and Jungkook that many consider one of the clearest displays of affection. Taehyung was feeling unwell, and his expression reflected this, while Jungkook watched him closely, his gaze unwavering. Jungkook wasn't just there. He seemed to know exactly what to do to lift Taehyung's spirits. His action was direct. He embraced him with obvious affection in front of everyone, demonstrating that Taehyung's well-being was his priority at that moment. It wasn't a calculated gesture for the audience, but a natural response to Taehyung's state, revealing a connection that went beyond what was immediately apparent. The moment of the embrace is something many people have witnessed repeatedly, and it continues to have a profound impact. Jungkook, standing before everyone, gave a subtle nod to Taehyung. A clear invitation for him to lean on him. Taehyung understood the signal instantly and snuggled into Jungkook's arms. This silent communication is key, as it demonstrates that they understand each other on a very deep level. Their eyes were teary, reinforcing the idea that the moment was emotional and genuine. In that instant, everything around them disappeared for Taehyung and Jungkook. A kind of bubble formed around them where only the two of them existed. Jungkook's intention was to protect Taehyung and make him feel safer and more comfortable, and his gesture completely succeeded. This type of situation demonstrates how two people can create their own space to care for each other, regardless of how many people are around. The power of the moment lay in its simplicity. One man caring for another in a very direct and personal way. It's clear that Jungkook assumed a protective role, and Taehyung accepted that comfort naturally. The intensity of the scene is something that can be felt even through a screen. There's a very strong energy between them. visible in the way they look at each other and how they move. Taekook's gaze at that moment shone with a special light, as if all his emotion and affection were concentrated in his eyes. This kind of detail is what many people point to as proof of an extraordinary connection. It's not something that can be easily faked. Love is evident in the small details, in the way hands are held and how bodies instinctively seek closeness. True affection between two people is tested in difficult times, not just when everything is going well. This is a principle applicable to any relationship, and Taekook clearly exemplified it. When one of them feels down, the other is there to lift them up, to offer comfort and support. That day was evidence of this dynamic. Taehyung was vulnerable, and Jungkook was his pillar of strength. It's not a theory. It's something that happened and was recorded. This constant behavior of being there for each other is what defines their relationship, and what makes many people believe in the sincerity of their feelings. The reason this moment is so memorable is because Taekook's gestures are so direct and genuine. There's nothing forced about their actions. Everything flows naturally. This particular hug is proof that their love is pure, and that their hearts are connected. There's no need to speculate. The facts speak for themselves. One man is feeling down, and the other comforts him with admirable tenderness. It's a clear example of how support and affection are demonstrated in practice, with simple yet meaningful actions. Taehyung and Jungkook have a way of interacting that differs from the norm. Their gestures and glances betray a special connection, especially on Jungkook's part, who doesn't show the same closeness with other people around him. This behavior isn't something you notice just once. It happens constantly. They seem to exist in their own space, a small personal circle that they create and maintain effortlessly, even when surrounded by many people and activity. Those who observe them regularly can see that, without needing to speak, they already know how to move close to each other and how to understand each other with just a signal. It's a communication that works without words, based purely on being together, and on a mutual understanding that seems to have been built over time. Their actions are clear and direct, never rehearsed or fake. Their hugs, their presence, and their silent support speak louder than any words ever could. Jungkook often communicates through actions rather than words. His gestures, glances, and subtle touches are his way of expressing himself. That's why those who have followed their story for years can understand what they feel without them saying a single word. Their behavior builds a narrative that is better understood by observing than by listening.